Hello everyone, good evening. My name is CA Bhageshwari Loya and I'm a functional consultant SAP at BISP Solutions. In our previous sessions, we have studied to create a company. We defined fiscal year variant and posting periods. Then we created chart of accounts, defined accounting groups intervals, and also learned what is document type, number range, and posting key. Our today's topic is more conceptual than practical. We shall be discussing parallel accounting concept in SAP. So let's begin. I have a very basic question for you all. What is inception point for initiating financial transaction accounting in a company? Or in simple word, what is the basic requirement to start a financial transactions? In my opinion, the basic requirement to start accounting in a company is to have a proper accounting principle, policies, or procedure that company is going to follow. Right. In our case, we have defined an Indian company that was called FIFA Retails. FI02 was its code. So the mandatory requirement for FIFA is to follow Indian accounting standard. Right. So in SAP, we have to define a key for accounting principle. People, we don't set rules for accounting policy in system. Rather, we follow it by giving proper journal entries, and thus accounting principles are followed. In SAP, we just need to assign a key. Okay. Now, it may be possible that our Indian company have to report to any foreign entity, or we may say it has a foreign parent company based in USA. So our parent company may ask for reporting as per accounting principle followed by them. So in this case, an Indian company, FIFA, if it has a parent company that is based in USA, it has to submit report on the basis of accounting principles followed by our foreign parent company. Then they have to submit report on the basis of US GAAP. Now, following Indian accounting standard is a mandatory and basic requirement that a company has to follow. But maintaining US GAAP transactions in US GAAP is an additional requirement to it. Therefore, in SAP allow us to have different set of accounting principles. We can maintain different set of accounting principle under one company. This is this basically this process or this procedure is called as parallel accounting in SAP. Okay. Now there is one more basic concept. In SAP, we have a predefined ledger. We call it as 0L, OL, or leading ledger. Now, this leading ledger is predefined in SAP. Therefore, at the time of creation of company, this 0L, OL ledger is automatically assigned to company. Now, why so? Because we create company in order to keep our keep accounting transactions or financial transactions. So we need to have one ledger, one basic, one foundation ledger in order to maintain all these transactions. Therefore, in SAP, SAP has predefined OL. So this is a client level setting. We don't need to define it. It is already defined in a system, and it is defined and allocated or assigned to company automatically. Okay, so in our case, in FIFA Retails, which is an Indian company, OL is automatically assigned to FIFA Retails, but we need to assign our mandatory basic requirement of accounting principle that we are going to follow with leading ledger, so that everything becomes in consensus. Now, we don't need to create this 0L. This is already in the system. It is a client level setting, but in order to keep the transactions or reporting in US GAAP, we need to create an additional ledger or non-leading ledger and assign that non-leading ledger to a company or to a US GAAP accounting principle that we are going to follow. So I'm not assigning any key here because this is not predefined or already assigned to a company. This we need to assign it to our accounting principles or to the company. Fine. So I will show everything in our SAP portal. So how we maintain everything. So just in order to see what are the basic requirement is that we should have an defined accounting principles, and we have ledger groups attached to it. This is our SAP Easy Access screen. We'll go to our customizing screen through SPROT code, SAP reference IMG. Under this, we'll go to financial accounting global setting, ledgers. Now this ledger and the parallel accounting, these are two interrelated fields. So first, we shall define an accounting principle. So we have to define two accounting principles. Number one, Ind AS, that is a basic requirement, and the next is to maintain US GAAP. We need to assign a key towards it. It may be alphanumeric or numeric. FIN, FIND, Indian Accounting Standards, and FIND, and next is FIUS, US GAAP. So here we can see FIND, FIUS. So the accounting key that we assigned for our company's accounting policy are FIND and FIUS. Now we have to assign this FIND to our leading ledger because that is the basic accounting principle that our Indian company is going to follow. And then we have to assign a non-leading ledger to our additional accounting policy, that is US GAAP. So we have defined accounting principles. We need to assign this accounting principle to ledger groups. But for that, we don't have non-leading ledger right now. We only have our leading ledger. We'll do this activity later, but before that, we'll just see our or define settings for ledgers and currency type. Under this, OL is already created. It is already assigned as leading ledger. All the companies created in this SAP softwares are automatically assigned to this. I will show it to you. Select it and click on company code settings. See, automatically all the companies are here. We have not assigned our company to OL ledger. We shall find our company, that is FI02, and all the basic settings that we have done before creating the ledger groups, the basic settings are already there. For example, we have created fiscal year variant, then we have assigned posting period variant. So everything is assigned to it. We'll select it and we'll give accounting principle. There is one accounting principle already there. That's not our accounting principle. We shall delete it. We go on a new entry, and our new accounting principle is FIND, and we'll save it. Similarly, we'll just go to a non-leading ledger setting. So there is this 2L non-leading ledger. We'll use it. We'll give a new entry. So our company is FI02 FIFA Retails. Fiscal year variant. Abhi here they are mentioning not the key but the description, and we don't remember our description, so we'll just save it for now, and we'll assign it on our this ledger screen. So our accounting principle that we have given is FIUS. It is saved. It's FIFA Retails, and it is already assigned as my company. As I assign my company to it, this TT and my posting period has automatically come under it. So I'm not going to see it. I'll just save it. Done. Now I want to assign. So 2L is my non-leading ledger. 2L I define is my non-leading ledger. I'll again go back to my display IMG screen. See, in first step, we defined an accounting principle. We defined ledger groups. We saw the ledger setting. I'll explain the setting to you in more details. But before that, we should assign the accounting principle to ledger group. So new entry, accounting principle is FI, accounting standards for FIFA. No, not this one. FIND. And our target ledger is 2L. Now done. Our ledger settings are done, but I will explain it to you. So here in this define ledger settings, we have OL, that is 0L. It will always be leading. By default, it is leading, and it have all the companies under it. Its ledger type is standard ledger. Now, when we click on this, there is this option coming extension ledger. Now, what is extension ledger? Extension ledger is a staple ledger. For example, in case of some special deals, we need to have some additional entries uh, uh, that we don't want those entries to reflect in our financial statements. uh, there is this another example, like for business forecasting, we need to do some additional entries, but we don't want those entries to affect our existing ledgers. So in that case, we need to have an extension ledger. Okay, now this extension ledger always have an underlying ledger. That this underlying ledger may be your leading ledger or non-leading ledger. So the extension ledger is just an additional or a staple ledger to our leading non-leading ledger. This was the only concept. There is no other thing, but this was not there in SAP ECC. It have introduced by SAP S4HANA. So it's an additional thing uh, with the latest version. Now, our next topic that we have to discuss is, in order to have proper structural representation of financial statement, uh, we need to maintain financial statement version. We maintain it as per the accounting principles and governing laws. So how we maintain account financial statement version? We from under financial accounting, journal ledger accounting, master data, GL accounts, and financial statement structures. So number one, we need to define financial statement versions, and then we need to assign this financial statement to the accounting principles. So in see, the presentation under US GAAP is different presentation under Indian accounting standard. So we need to have two set of financial statement versions, FCV and FSV and FSV. Two set of FSV financial statement versions we need to have, as these financial statement version is nothing but a structural representation of our financial statements. And also we need to link the accounting principle key, in order to present it properly. So first we need to define financial statement version. I will show you by defining only Indian accounting standards. So a new entry. So let's create a version FI02, financial statement version for FIFA. Language be English. Chart of account, we already have assigned a chart of account key, that is FI02, chart of account for FIFA. Parameters, we will just save it. Okay. Now financial statement items. It is taking time. There may be some errors. So this is how it is going to look. It's just a basic structure. We have not entered a single data in this. Now this is just a plain copy. Now how, as per our accounting principles, we need to set or present our our financial statements. So we can just add items here. Now under assets, we may create more items, that long term assets and short term assets. Then under long term assets or short term assets, we may again add in under short term, we may add current assets, advance given or cash in bank accounts. And also we can assign accounts to them. Currently we do have chart of account, we have maintained a key under our company FIFA details, but we have not maintained any GL accounts. So in this case, we won't be able to allot any account number. We cannot present it without having GL accounts, but this is a mandatory requirement before starting creation of GL accounts. So we have to do it, like we have created this now. But in case anyone else have maintained their data, I would just like to show you. See, this is the structure. For example, they have maintained under assets, cash and cash equivalent, then petty cash. Then they have aligned GL accounts to it. They have assigned GL accounts to it. See, they have assigned GL accounts to it. So this is how we also have to assign GL accounts, assign accounts. See, we can add more accounts to it, and this is how our presentation will look like at the end stage. As we have defined our financial statement version, we need to assign this version to accounting principle. So a new entry, our accounting principle was FIND, and then our chart of account is FI02 that we created in our previous classes. And now our financial statement version, I don't remember, I think FI02 only we created. Yes. So this is how it is done. So that's all for today. Let's have a quick revision. In today's session, we learned what is parallel accounting in SAP. For that, we need to have two or more set of accounting principles. Okay, in our case, we had Indian AS and US GAAP. Then for the different set of accounting principle, we need to have a different ledger group assigned. One is leading ledger, that is a predefined or a client level setting already done in a system. We just need to assign an accounting principle to a non-leading ledger. We have to create a non-leading ledger, and then we need to assign the accounting principles to both our ledgers, leading and non-leading ledger. And then we learned maintaining accounting principles. And lastly, we saw to define financial statement version. Financial statement version is nothing but a structure that we need to follow in accordance with the accounting principles we are following. I hope I was able to make this concept clear to you people. Thank you for listening it so patiently. That's all for today. Have a great day.